how the drone flies. And I think the amount of math that goes into that is absolutely phenomenal, because if it wasn't for simple mathematical calculations, the drone wouldn't be flying today. It's basically a small computer chipset that sits inside the brain of the drone that allows it to stay up. And essentially what it's doing is, I'll show you over here. This is a small little drone that we've got here. What
Wow.
you have four propellers that spin,
Mm-hmm.
and these four propellers, as they spin, they generate the lift for the drone to be able to go up. So the math that goes into this is that for this to stay afloat, for it to stay up in the air, all four motors need to be spinning at exactly the same speed, so that it doesn't wobble and it doesn't go all over the place. So that's how a quadcopter works. Now the math
Wow.
that goes in here is that now if I need to move this forward, I need the back two propellers to be able to spin slightly faster and the front two propellers to go slightly slower, and this thing will tip forward and then move forward. Now all of that is actually mathematical calculations that's going on inside the brain of this computer to be able to make it move like we want. So we have a small controller where you've got sticks, and you can just move left. So when you tell the controller over here move left, you're telling the computer inside this that, okay, to move left, I need you to move it, mathematically move it this much, and then it moves. But when you're flying a drone and you want to do a nice orbit shot of, giving a shot of the stadium, right? The director
Hmm.
will tell us, okay, give us an orbit shot, keeping the, pitch in the center and go around the cricket stadium. Now, subconsciously, you don't realize the math in it, but essentially what you're doing is, if you were to put a point in the center of the circle, and kind of pull the radius out, and then go around the radius, that's effectively the exact flight path that we're trying to kind of match with the drone. We want to be able to put
True.
in as many batteries, but then we don't want to be flying with so many batteries. So we do a calculation where we say that, okay, our optimal number of batteries for a cricket match is actually 8.
Mm-hmm.
And then the good part is that by the time you've got to your 8th battery, your first battery is already charged as well. So in case you're going over, we've kind of calculated it in a way that, by the time you've gone to your 8th battery, your first and your second battery are already charged. While we use it, we don't realize how much there is. But just to imagine the amount of maths that our mind is playing along with all the technology that we are using. So just to be able to match the speed of the car, because we want to be able to show the drone right outside the window, the drone is now actually matching the exact speed of the car as we are moving. The angle at which that I have to pull out has to be extremely precise, because if I don't pull out at the same angle, I'm going to lose the framing. So I have to make sure that my angle, exactly what it is, if it's 43 degrees, then I keep it exactly stuck at 43 degrees. And if I don't pull out at that angle from the car, the position of the car is going to change. So it's not just the angle that needs to be maintained, it is then you'll be able to explain this mathematically a lot better, but the angle that I need to pull out from there towards the ceiling to be able to reveal the whole ceiling needs to be a straight line in that angle, ensuring that and not just in that angle, but also sort of virtually following the car as well. So it's kind of going like this, to be able to keep the car in the center, but then also seem like a straight line pulling out. Once your conceptual levels get sorted at the school level, the way you use it in everyday life is so subconscious. But the more your fundamentals are strong, the more you're able to use it subconsciously in everyday life. And I think if it wasn't for math, pretty much everything that we do wouldn't exist. So from the drone flying itself to how we use it across all of these different applications, none of it would exist if it wasn't for math.